The first 2 years I lost 100 pounds.
Sure about that. What? Like, you want a picture with me? Like,
Yeah. Graham, can you come do a backflip?
Cardio's making you fat. That's what we're going to talk about today.
You're listening to the Northstar Podcast.
All right, everyone. Welcome to episode 78 of the Northstar Podcast. This is going to be part one. We have a guest, first guest in the new studio. Abram, thanks for coming today, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no,
thanks for being here.
It's been cool to see your journey, and obviously it's been pretty hectic for you, and lots changed in the last year for you. So, just to start, man, like, we just want to kind of hear your story on who you are and what you do, obviously, and then just kind of giving us a little bit of a background on how you got to where you are, and then we'll go from there. So,
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's good to be here. And I'm Abram. Grew up in Mission, BC. Fell in love with hockey at the age of 4. I think that was like kind of the first time I ever stepped on the ice and started playing. And I think kind of that love of hockey kind of just started with my uncle. He played 16 years in the NHL for Chicago and Florida. And just kind of growing up, always wanted to be like him one day. And I played Mission all the way up till Bantam second year. So I was about 14, 15 years old. I actually started training with the fitness lab around that age, about 12, 13 I was.
I remember when you were that, like, when I was like starting, that's when you kind of were there too, right?
You started training with Vic, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it's kind of like our Mission teams back in the day would do like two times a week or whatever with Vic. So that's kind of when I was first introduced to working out and everything. Never touched the weight or anything. So kind of all started there. And after Mission, my Bantam second year, I kind of got the opportunity to play for the Thunderbirds. I played there for 2 years. I played on the U16 and U7, or U16 and U18 team. Played there for 2 years, then got the opportunity to play for Chilliwack in the BCHL, and was fortunate enough to play there for 3 years. And just an unbelievable place to play. Just so fortunate to play so close to home too. There's so many teams that are all over BC, and the closest one, to be able to play it, the closest one was pretty cool. And I always got to go home on the weekends and see my parents and stuff like that. Awesome. But I did. I left home at 16, was kind of the first time. Not that far, only 45 minutes. But and then obviously the first season was COVID year, so we only played 20 games, and that was a really long season. Just, lots of uncertainty, just training and told we were playing, and then kind of getting pushed back again and again. And I kind of got no college looks that year, just 20 games, so really not much to go off of. And I remember my second year, the first team that I ever reached out was Bentley University, and that was kind of like the time where I was like, wow, like I might have a chance to go Division I. And that was pretty cool to, finally get a text from a Division I college. And I think you kind of work your whole life towards something like that, and to be able to get a text and see that some teams are finally starting to gain interest was pretty cool. And was able to, that second year, it was a really good year. Just a lot more confident in my game, and a lot more teams started coming along, and there was like a showcase around October, and that's kind of when North Dakota came along and offered me a scholarship to go play there, and it's pretty easy to accept and go there. Just kind of looking at the program and their history, it's probably one of the nicest arenas like in the world, and I was lucky enough to go there and play there for 3 years. It was incredible.
Must have been ecstatic.
Every game is sold out, 12,000 fans. Like,
wow.
It's crazy. You'd have to be there to experience, how special that place is. And it went by so fast. And then, flashback to now, like it's crazy that that's all done now. And season ended, went to the Frozen Four against Vegas this year. Played Wisconsin. Lost, I think it was 2-1. We lost 2-1 to Wisconsin, and then right after that, got the opportunity to sign with Calgary. And then it was just a whirlwind. We lost on the Thursday night. Friday morning, flew out to Seattle. Got there around 5 o'clock at night. Was told I was playing the next day.
Wow.
And then played Seattle, and just so fortunate that I was in Seattle. Like, it's like 2.5 hours from here, like the second closest NHL team, and to be able to have like 60 friends and family was great. And that's brings us to now, and that's kind of my story.
Yeah, kind of just like
yeah.
full circle moment, kind of like, you know, there's so many steps where you got to be able to get where you are. So when you played, so for example, like when you went from Thunderbirds to Chilliwack Chiefs, when did you kind of know that you had that opportunity to play in the NHL? Like that you were like, okay, this is, like, did you have a moment where you're like, okay, now I have a really good chance? Or was there something that kind of stood out? Like, you know, every hockey player obviously wants to play in the NHL. Like that's usually mostly the goal. But I find that there's probably a time where you're kind of like, okay, maybe I have a chance, maybe I don't. Like, did you have a feeling? Did you know? Like, was there anything that kind of stood out to you?
Yeah, I think it's hard to tell when you know that there might be a chance. But I thought kind of my time in Chilliwack, obviously it's a really good league. There's guys that are coming from all over. Yeah. And I think kind of when I started to excel and play really well and just gain more confidence and teams started to reach out. I think when a lot of Division I teams started reaching out and kind of offering me scholarships, then that's when I kind of thought like, wow, like I might have a pretty good chance to just kind of pursue this as a dream and try to make it, and it worked out.
That's sweet, man.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Were you really nervous when you played your first game out there?
Yeah.
It must have been nerve-wracking.
Yeah. I know, it was crazy. I think it's something that you just work your whole life towards, and then next thing you know, you wake up and you're going out for your rookie lap in the NHL, and you look down the ice and you're seeing players that you've watched on TV your whole life. It's obviously very nerve-wracking, but it's also something that I just had to like push to the side and just have fun with it, because you only get one first NHL game and you just got to enjoy it. So yeah, it was such a cool experience. Yeah,
it's so awesome.
Yeah, I think the track record of you going through all these teams and going the university route, I'm actually interested to hear why, because like I know a lot of guys won't go the university route. Right, they'll just go like right into AHL or NHL or however, right? What made you want to go down that road of going like university and then playing? Like, what was there something that that's like you've always wanted to do? Did you have kind of like a plan always going into it? What made you kind of go down that route?
I think it started in Bantam, like the WHL draft. Obviously, I wasn't chosen in that. During my WHL draft, I was actually still playing in Mission. Okay. So, I mean, not many scouts are watching you play in Mission. And so obviously passed in that. And the next available thing was college. And I always knew that I was kind of a late developer. I was never kind of a standout when I was younger, just kind of always just good and consistent. And I knew that I was going to need a couple years to develop. And I'm just, I think it worked out perfectly for me, just being able to play the 3 years in Chilliwack and then another 3 of college. And college has gotten so good that it prepared me really well for the NHL.
That's a huge thing. Yeah. Being prepared actually versus like how you mentioned, if you like jump into it right away, like for example is like you look at other people like in the basketball, me on my more basketball route, but like seeing people like Bronny get into the NBA and then people are always talking. That's another thing too, right? Because there's a lot of stress that comes with it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Being able to prepare yourself, I think, A, physically, you're getting bigger, stronger. And then the other thing, B, is going to be like the mental side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you just look at like the WHL and the ages are like 16 to 20, and colleges, you're ranging from like 19 to 25-year-olds. So you're playing against older guys that are bigger, stronger, and it just prepares you so much more to make that transition into the AHL
there's a gap,
and NHL.
Right? It's about like trying to tighten up that gap.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, it's been great though.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about it too is like I know you have a swimming background too.
Yeah,
really.
Like you did a lot of swimming too. I remember when you were going through hockey.
5 of us siblings, and we all did.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a summer thing, just putting the skates away and doing other things, whether it was basketball or and then swimming was a huge one, just every single day, and just great for my cardio in the summer.
There you go, conditional lungs, dude.
Yeah,
because you had done a lot of like events and things with swimming in the off season, right?
Yeah, I mean the off season I was basically swimming every day, and then on the weekends there were swim meets and stuff like that. So, what a way to keep your summer busy. That's for sure. Yeah.
Were there any opportunities? Like, did you ever have a point where there were like universities were looking at you for swimming and stuff like that?
No, it wasn't that like high of a level.
Okay.
It was kind of just something to I don't know, get the family together all summer and do that. And I mean, gained a lot of relationships and friends and stuff through that sport. And very grateful to have done that. And I think I stopped that when I was like 14 to kind of just pursue hockey.
Yeah, and then that's when you kind of knew you're like, I got to take a step back. I got to do that kind of off-season training and that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's usually a transition point when you're like, you have to make that decision between sports.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I heard you had 5 siblings, or is it like just 5 of you guys?
5 of us total.
In total, including your parents?
Yeah. I got 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and my mom and dad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's 7 of us in that.
No, because your 2 brothers are always doing hockey too.
Yeah.
Like I always see them. I've trained a few of them too. Like when they're so.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the second oldest. I got an older sister. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then when it comes down to like your path, so it's funny actually. My uncle used to play for when they were the Chilliwack Bruins.
Yeah, in the WHL.
Right.
Yeah.
No, what was it with the Chilliwack team? They were they like Chiefs then Bruins then Chiefs again?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so he played it's kind of crazy when you say that because I used to go watch him when he would play out there. Okay. And I remember, I don't know, do the seats still have like where the seats like have the lettering of the actual, okay, so it's the same still. Okay, that's crazy. So I haven't been there in like years, but when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that you played for them.
Yeah.
But it's a cool opportunity to probably be also like playing in that atmosphere and being, like you said, close to home, right? Because you have your parents, your siblings, your families all around. They can come and watch you. And
this is during COVID time, right? So tough time, especially if you're going to be all by yourself
for
too,
sure.
and trying to figure things out. So
exactly. Yeah, so very fortunate to get that. To make that transition of kind of living by myself a lot easier because you can go home on the weekends and every game they're there. So it was awesome. Yeah.
So when you go back from going from Chilliwack to North Dakota, what did North Dakota University like feel like that was the right move to go to? Like why did you pick them?
I think just their track record and their coaching staff. Yeah. I think the success they've had of developing players into the NHL. I think it's like 114 or 115 players now that they've had play in the NHL. So
crazy.
And then just the coaching stuff and kind of what they saw in me and then the facilities too. I mean, they've kind of got everything there for you. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen like the video of our rink and stuff like that, but we're set up so well that we get breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day, so you don't got to worry about food or anything like that. And I think they just set you up so well to succeed there, and I'm just so grateful that I got that opportunity to play there for 3 years. And it's sad that it's come to an end.
Yeah, it's really a bittersweet moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know a lot of guys that have kind of done either the university route, kind of what you've done, and it's hard to have a team that you really probably love to play with and you make a lot of relationships like you said, and then having now transitioned to something completely different, but also it's kind of like exactly the step that you wanted to take to be in the NHL, right? And to play in the NHL is like you had to take these steps. Was there a moment in the last like few years where you feel like you really jumped up in development? You had mentioned like growing up you weren't someone who really like per se like stood out in the aspect of you had to really work your way up to this like really work hard and then push that like you look at like the number 1 overall draft picks kind of thing, they're by 15 they're like, oh yeah, this guy's going like was there a moment in your hockey career where you really felt like you almost surpassed or jumped a lot of people and you're like, okay, now this is where I'm going at? Was there anything that you found that really made a big difference there?
I think my transition to my first year in Chilliwack, that COVID year, going into my second year, it was COVID. So I came into Chilliwack at like 160 pounds. And I actually remember coming to you. You put me on the mutant mass. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, because I could never gain weight. And that was like something like an opportunity for me to like, we're not playing games. All we're doing is working out. Like we might as well just use it as an opportunity to get bigger, stronger, faster in the gym. And I remember like I put in like 20 pounds that year, like something crazy. And I remember once the season ended and stuff, and then heading into my second year, I was just so much bigger, and I feel like I had gotten so much faster, and I just felt so much better and stronger on the ice that I felt really good at that level. And I had like a really good year, especially as like a young guy in the BCHL, and that's kind of when all the college teams came along. So that was kind of like a time that I used as an opportunity to get better, and happy that I did it for sure.
Well, and it's actually interesting that you mentioned like nutrition, because it'd be cool for you to talk a little bit about it too. But just one little piece, like the thing about like hockey players in general, well, athletes in general, but especially hockey, is the amount of conditioning you guys do. So the amount of calories that you need to consume just to be able to maintain. Yeah. Because I can imagine, and I've talked to Gage about this, talked to other guys about this. It's like, it's almost hard to even keep your weight as is during season, right? And that's such a big, like, huge thing. So what do you find really helps you, or what do you like to do to, like, if you have a routine, or if there's meals or pregame meals, or what are any rituals or anything like that you find that
I have the same question. Is there like a pre-workout ritual? I've heard so many athletes talk about like their pre-game meal or whatever.
I think you're saying like I think it was chicken Alfredo or something.
Oh yes, that's what
like a pre-game meal.
Do you have one?
Like, is there something that you have, like, ritual-wise or food-wise, or like when you're not playing a game, when you're practicing, do you follow like a regimen? Like, I know we've chatted over the years, of course, but has there been something that really stuck with you that you found to really help you over the years?
I mean, I was able to get like a really good understanding of nutrition at Nodak, just because, I mean, you play every Friday, Saturday. It's not like in the WHL or other leagues, you're kind of playing all throughout the week, right? Every other day.
Yeah, every other day,
just like the AHL or NHL. So for us to play Friday, Saturday, we kind of get that advantage of always being ready to go on the weekends. And so Friday mornings, I kind of just start with breakfast, whether that's eggs, bacon, hash browns, toast, just whatever. We do a morning skate, come back, hang out at the rink. And then if our game's at 7 o'clock, I eat at 1 o'clock, and I don't eat the rest of the day.
So do you eat a really heavy meal?
I eat a heavy meal at 1, and I actually don't eat until after the game. Yeah. But I'm just like tons of pasta, so a lot of carbs. Salmon, chicken breast, and then fruit on the side and stuff. So I eat a big heavy meal at 1 o'clock, and then kind of just hydrate throughout the day. And then before the game is just lots of like E-Fuel carb powder. Stuff like that throughout the game, but nothing like too complex. But it's something that I did for 3 years. Every single game it was the same meal. So got kind of that habit of taking it every game, and it's something that worked for me. And then obviously there's guys that have different stuff that like to eat later in the day, or they take their food to go and have a nap first and eat it after their nap or pregame nap. So, but yeah, I've always kind of liked to eat a lot earlier in the day, and then that's where I feel my best. Yeah.
So when it comes to like during game, are you just drinking water? Like, what do you? Is there anything?
So I use a thing called like E-Fuel. I guess it's like an
carb powder.
Carb powder.
Yes.
Yeah. So I use 4 scoops of those.
Holy.
Those are just kind of I drink throughout the.
Doesn't it get chalky?
Game. Yeah. Pardon?
Does it get chalky when you drink it, or does it not build up? Really?
I got 2 bottles. I use 2 bottles.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of like, I mean, I get to the rink at 4 o'clock, game's at 7, so I'm kind of sipping on that throughout the game.
Yeah, okay. So
before the game, during the game, between periods, and then I got pretzels that I eat in between periods and stuff like that. Just granola bars, just something to keep me going, and those are kind of like the things that I kind of do during the game to keep me fueled up and ready to go.
Do you ever feel like really hungry while you're playing? Does that ever happen, or are you pretty?
No, actually, I've never been starving. Even like after games, it's something that like I'm never hungry after a game. That's something that I struggled with. My first year is just, I mean, you burn so many calories, and then
if you're not hungry, you're not eating,
and you can't eat, and then you're not ready to go. And so one thing, like every morning we do a Sozo scan at North Dakota. So you put your hands and feet on it, and it kind of just tracks your total body water and stuff like that. And that's the one thing that our sports medicine guys look at is your total body water. And
huge thing for athletes.
I mean, you got guys coming in after games that are down 2 liters of water from the night or the morning before, and it's like, well, how can we change that to be more ready for the next game?
Yeah, like more optimal.
Efficient.
Yeah, and so for me, like, even to this day, like, I'm not hungry after games. I really find it hard to eat, and I try to just get as much as I can down. But for me, it's like, just drink a lot of electrolytes and carbs at the end of the game. And for me, like, milk has done the job for me.
I remember that about
like
you.
I drink
Milk?
a lot of milk.
Yeah, I remember that about you.
Like just regular milk?
Yeah. Like whole milk at the end of games. And
like by itself?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you remember my cousin. My cousin does the same thing.
So it got to the point where, like, now I was coming in on our Saturday games. I was actually up a liter in water.
Oh, cool.
So I was really like, So it was really like helping me hydrate, and then, I mean, I remember like my freshman and sophomore year, like I was actually losing, like, I think I lost like 4 or 5 pounds on the year and stuff like that. And so this year I actually gained 5 pounds on the year throughout the season. So just being able to grow in that aspect of like hydrating after games and just fueling my body after even practices and stuff like that helped a ton.
Oh yeah, they say like even the lack of hydration, how much performance reduces. Just if you're like going into it the next day, especially if it's back to back, and for you to actually gain weight in season, that's crazy. Because like I was saying before, a lot of guys lose weight. They're not able to, and how a lot has to do with obviously calorie consumption for sure, but I think also to prioritizing recovery, right? You know, I think the big thing is like obviously sleep. We talk about that all the time here, but you know, and hydration and nutrition. But the thing is, it's like if you can go into it and doing something that you enjoy and you find works for you might not work for the guy beside you.
Exactly.
And I think that's the big thing, and that would be, you know, any younger players listening, like find something that works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You know, you can try little things, and you've probably tried other things. Maybe guys have told you, and you know tried, and you're like, maybe it doesn't work, or oh, actually this really worked well for me. But once you sounds like once you've had you kind of found your routine, you just really like locked into it, and you just repeat it every single day, every single week, and it just got you to the point where you're just like, oh, I feel good when I do this. And I think that's the biggest thing at the end of the day too. So
sure.
I'm curious about caffeine consumption. Do you do a lot of caffeine or any caffeine at all?
I've actually never taken an energy drink before. No, I just drink
regular coffee.
Just regular black coffee.
Just regular black coffee. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, it's like another preference thing. Like you get guys in the team that are big into energy drinks, and they'll have an energy drink before the game, and that's just something that I've never kind of gotten into. I mean, I'll have a coffee before a game, but I don't drink it just to be all fired up and ready to go.
Okay, so
just
like,
drink it to drink
just
it.
drink it to drink it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious about that because like that's also another thing I find with athletes. There's so many different types of athletes that have so many different like rules with caffeine. I was just wondering if you had any rules with caffeine.
When it comes to like supplements and stuff like that, what kind of stuff do you guys usually go after? Like, is there anything that you take that you personally found has really helped? Or
I think during the season, it's just a lot of like magnesium and vitamin D and vitamin C, just multivitamin stuff, and then obviously a lot of protein with how much we practice, and a lot of carb powder. But other than that, it's nothing too complex. Like, I mean, obviously we're fed breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so they know like we're kind of getting everything in our food groups. So we're getting a lot of our nutrients in, and so that part you kind of don't got to worry about, because you kind of just show up and you kind of just pick everything that's listed there for you, and you're getting everything you need. But now, like, I'm not going to get that in Calgary, so it's going to be kind of on me to make sure that I'm staying up to date on that and getting everything that I need. But yeah, other than those couple things that I take, my supplements creatine obviously too. Take that every day too, but there was nothing else that was kind of mandatory for us to take unless I'm missing something. But
Okay, that's cool. Did they like work with? So now that you're going to, well, I know it's like you're saying it was kind of your first year technically, like your, what'd you call it, burnout?
Yeah, just burning a year.
Burning year, yeah. So now that you go into like, let's say that September timeline, do they give you like a plan? They're like, hey, we want you to do this. We want you to work out like this. Or is it kind of just on you to do what you've been doing and going with that? Like, what does that look like now with that transition?
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's not a specific plan of, we want you working out this many days a week at this time. It's obviously it's on you to get the job done and grow throughout the off season. But they give you lists of areas that they want you to improve on during the season. So for me, it's just get stronger. I mean, you go from college to the NHL or the AHL. I mean, everyone's just older, so they're bigger and stronger. So that's a big aspect. And then just getting faster. So for me, it's my first 3 strides, just getting more explosive. And then through Calgary and everything, they'll have trainers and sports medicine guys that'll kind of help you along the way at what things you need to do to get faster and stronger, and then just working with Vic too. Obviously, he's been unbelievable, just helping me grow as a player. So, I've let him know that those are the things that I want to work on this summer, and working out in a hockey group this summer with those guys. Those are similar focuses that they have. So it's great to be able to do it with them and have someone to do it with. Yeah.
Well, I was mentioning off, Vic was saying for you to tell the story about when you were younger and you wanted to train with all the older guys. It'd be funny for you to kind of see it from your side.
Yeah.
So
I just remember kind of obviously starting the younger days in Mission, just doing the Wednesdays or whatever it was with Vic. And
how old are you at the time?
How old was I? 12, 13?
12, 13.
Yeah, so that would have been...
But I started with you.
Yeah. So we would do, like, when I started... Because you're how old now?
22.
Okay, so that would have been, about when I actually, like, just started. Because I've been there for 9 years.
Yeah.
So that's roughly, that same timeline. I would do a lot of, like, the team stuff when I started.
Yeah.
So... I've seen, like I was saying, I've seen his sibling, like all his siblings come through same program. So I think you guys were doing like you said, like 2 days a week or something, and then going off that, Vic just mentioned like you were wanting to train with older guys and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I think at the time, like obviously Gage was 2 years older than me, but it obviously didn't like feel like that when you were that age, and obviously him being just like a great hockey player growing up, and I think he was training with a group at one point with just a lot of the older guys, and that was just something that I wanted to be a part of to kind of push myself, and obviously like looking up to players like that, it's something that I wanted to do. So I remember always going to ask him if I could join that group, and he let me, which was great. So
he was telling me, he's like, and then everyone was like super welcoming, and they're like, you can totally come back, like it's cool. So I think
that says a lot about you as an athlete though as well. Like being able to like look up and like going like, okay, this is kind of like I see those guys and I'm gonna work just as hard, or whether like you change how you work out. I think the attitude's awesome. I think that's something that people don't speak up enough of is like looking up to people and thinking like, you know what, like let's strive together. That's a huge thing.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I had a question. Any injuries or roadblocks like that you can like recall? Do you feel like you've ever had like a bad injury that kind of felt like made you nervous or setbacks?
I've been very fortunate that like I've been lucky enough to not have any severe injuries or anything like that. Obviously like you get the odd sprain or bone bruise every now and then, but nothing that like I've missed a significant amount of time for. So I've been very lucky and fortunate in that aspect.
Any broken bones?
Nothing.
Dude, that's lucky you.
I would say, it's interesting you say that, because I would say probably staying healthy, even if you're not, let's say, the all-star player, whatever, you think of the best players in the world.
Yeah. Natural talent and all that.
If you stay healthy and you're consistent, you're more likely to actually, I feel, be able to go further in the game than someone who's like an all-star, always getting injured, coming back, always getting like, and it's just going back and forth, back and forth. If you're a consistent guy, you're gonna get more playing time. Even like I said, even if you're not that number one of but you're still gonna be able to like put the games in because your durability is so much better,
more reliable.
Right? Yeah. So I think that's kind of an interesting too. Like, any younger kids, I think that would be something cool to touch on for you, is like if there's any younger athletes or younger kids that were in your position and looking up to kind of where you are now, it would be cool for you to just like give any like advice or things that you really found that would kind of help them, kind of guide them in, you know, in a direction that might just give them a different perspective?
Yeah, just on playing hockey, you mean? Like
just hockey, or just
up,
like in general, or your mindset of it, and you know, if you look back at your younger self, your 13-year-old, like what would you want to tell him if you could, right? Going through what you have gone through now, kind of thing.
I mean, I think especially in today's like landscape of hockey, like there's so much more now. I remember when I played, like it was just Mission, and like now I'm hearing like Mission's going to zone teams or whatever, and but I think just like I remember for me, like my Bantam year when I was like not drafted into the draft and stuff like that. Like obviously that's a setback because you got all the buddies that you play with that you might think that you're better than at that time are getting drafted, maybe because they're playing at a school that's more recognized or more on the map than Mission, and scouts go to those games and they don't come to Mission. So I think just kind of using like setbacks as fuel to get better. Like for me, when I wasn't drafted in the WHL, like my thought was obviously like it sucked, but like let's prove them wrong in a way. Like let's just use it as fuel to get better, and that ultimately led to like me getting drafted by Vegas in the NHL draft like a couple of years later. And then I remember like in Bantam, like you would try out for these teams like a BC. I don't really know what it was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But you'd try for like Team BC, and then they would play Team Manitoba and stuff. And I remember coming in there, and you kind of have Mission beside your name, and like I was cut like on like the second day of camp. So like, and then you have guys that like are on your team that are making it ahead of you. So like obviously like it doesn't feel great, and it's obviously a setback, but I always kind of just use those setbacks as fuel to get better every single day and to prove people wrong. And I mean, if I'm a kid right now that has had those setbacks, that's something like that I would encourage them to do, is just use it as fuel to prove them wrong. Yeah.
I gotta say, I mean, I always like every time I hear you talk, you come off very humble, and honestly, I'm wondering, I'm like, I feel like there's got to be some sort of thing like growing up, like I think personally, like this is just an assumption, but like your family as well as your social circle, I think like your attitude is like, that's a huge thing with players, because like you were mentioning before, like you're saying like, hey, I'm playing with these guys and you might think you're better than them. I think sometimes the people can get too much into their head. Yeah. And then that causes their performance. Yeah. Whether it's like anxiety if they're thinking, they put self-pressure onto themselves, which causes them to choke. Yeah. But I do just hearing you talk, I'm like, you come off very humble, which I really like, because like out of a lot of athletes I've talked to, I think you come off one of the humblest. So
thank you.
Plays in you right here, but yeah, I love to hear that, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think awesome. The cool piece that you even mentioned and Gage had mentioned too is like, you know, growing up, you guys didn't always make the teams. You guys didn't always like, you know, we're not on per se like, you know, those BC teams, but like, look at you guys now, kind of thing, right? So I think that's also a really cool thing for anyone younger listening. It's like, just because you might not make these all-star teams, or that you know, might not per se stand out as at this age or at a younger age, doesn't mean you can't make it. Yeah. Right. And I think that's a good piece too, because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, if you look at Mission in general, it's not a big town. It's not usually, probably there's not always a lot of eyes. Yeah. But now that sounds like, you know, more athletes and more hockey players are coming out of Mission. Maybe now that opportunity, maybe you guys have kind of set a little bit of like precedent of like, oh yeah, there's actually guys in Mission that can play and that are actually like good, right? You know,
it's inspiring
like,
for people
saying,
too.
Like when you said you went to that camp, you're like, well, my name, it said Mission beside it, right? It's like, well, maybe now it's like you guys have kind of set a standard of like, actually, no, there are players out here that are actually good enough to move on to that next level. So
and even like to speak on that, you mentioned like Gage, and like to be able to, like he went through it firsthand. Like I obviously. He wasn't drafted, didn't make any of those teams, goes second round, now he's playing full-time in the NHL. So to have like him to look up to too, and know that like when I wasn't drafted, like same thing happened to him. So that obviously made it easier, knowing that like if he can do it, I can do it. So that was obviously a positive as well.
That'd be cool. And do you guys play against each other? And, you know, like, you know, it was funny because I chatted him about that, and we can chat about that in the next part too. But when he was mentioning like, playing against guys or that he knew, or the first time you met like these big players and you're like on the ice, like literally beside them. And you're just
breathing the same air.
It's just like, you're just like, what? Where am I? Like, I'm just standing like right beside like Sidney Crosby.
I know.
And you're like, what the heck? Like, this is crazy. Right? So, but yeah, man, I think that's a good place to just, with your story and, going into it, I really want to do like the part 2 where we just talk about, your first game and obviously like your experience and, how it felt and your family there and, any other little things. But, is there anything that you want to leave with this episode or anything about your story that you want to kind of end off or...
No, I didn't save it for part 2.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to episode 78, part 1 of the Northstar Podcast. We'll be back and we will have 79 coming up. Thank you so much.